to this on, I'm seeing you on what? Your phone or your laptop?
I have my work computer plugged
Oh, that's
in.
right. You were going to use your work.
Yeah, and
So
so
you're
hopefully I'm
using
allowed.
Oh, no, unless
They always say they want us
risk.
to have personal and professional development, so I'll consider this to be personal development related.
Well, it might be closer to the truth than you think it's going to be because we're going to do some things. I always like to do a little bit more. So we do some things at the end of the session that are like motivational in nature and help you within your life too.
Okay,
I
that'd be
don't, I
great.
don't. You're in a suggestible state. I don't want to waste that state. So I kind of help you along in some things that you want to accomplish.
Okay.
Okay, that's okay with you.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited to do this. I just feel like this is going to be good one way or another. And like you told me before, even if I don't see certain things now, I might within days
Yeah,
or
well,
weeks after.
exactly. I'm going to incorporate
So,
those suggestions that you'll dream about it, you'll experience it at odd moments of the day, and
mhm.
this happened to you before, so there's
Yeah,
really
it's
no.
happened to me before. It wasn't a lot of stuff, but it's still, I mean, it was a little bit of stuff. So I'm for it. Okay. So what would you
Are
like
you
me to
okay?
do?
Are you okay with the light level in your room?
Oh, the
You
light
got one?
level's fine. I
Okay,
mean,
good.
I've done this before with lights on, and I mean that doesn't
All
matter
right.
as long as I close my eyes.
All right, what you got to do?
Can I do that
Okay.
now?
When I tell you to, okay? But
Okay.
for now, just sit back,
All
relax,
right.
make yourself comfortable. Let your hands rest easily in your lap or the arms of the chair or beside you, wherever you like. Adjust yourself to the most comfortable position you like. That's fine. Now, close your eyes and let them stay closed. And now your cloud begins to slowly descend. And as it does, I want you to be aware that in that great expanse of time and place that lie before you, your soul has led many lifetimes. And you can sense them, you can feel them, and maybe even see some of them, just as a little kaleidoscope in front of you. Images, visions of your lives move swiftly. And now your subconscious mind directs that kaleidoscope of lives to slow, slow, slow yet, until it stops the life you lived directly prior to this, your current lifetime. Your subconscious mind will direct you to the life you lived, the body you inhabited, just prior to this, your current life. Now, if you've drifted too deep, if you're too deep into the hypnotic state, my voice reaches you first as if it were from a long way off, but you're homing in once more on my thoughts, my questions, my instructions. My words come through vividly to you, no matter how deep you may be. Your cloud now comes to a gentle landing, and you step off of it. And now you see yourself as you were in that life, the life just prior to your current life. And it could be at any time in that life. And I'm going to ask you some questions. You'll be able to answer me without awakening. You will answer me so that I can understand you. You'll be able to speak to me without disturbing this beautiful state that you're enjoying. Now, it's for your good and your gaining that you're able to know what country you're living in, as you would understand it today, and what period of time you're living in, as you would understand it today. So tell me, where are you living? What country? You can answer me. About what time period is it in? You can answer me without awakening.
Well, I know it's the 60s.
The 1960s, okay. Now, look down at your feet. Tell me what you're wearing on them.
Pointy flat shoes.
Okay. Now, even though you're inside of you, you're able to know the color of your eyes, your hair, and your skin. What color is your hair?
Very bleached.
Okay. How about your eyes?
Blue.
The skin?
Very pale.
What is your name in that lifetime? No matter how strange, how bizarre it seems, you'll be able to tell me your name in that lifetime.
I want to say Marilyn.
Someone's calling you by your name. What name are they calling you?
Oh, Marilyn.
Okay. Now we're going to very quickly scan that life. I want you to be aware of certain details of that life. Okay. What was your occupation in that life?
Well, I wanted to be a serious dramatic actress. But not everybody took me seriously.
Would you generally describe that life as a happy one or not?
Well, I kind of feel like a fool, actually. I kind of feel like always like pretending to be what I'm not.
But you're an actress. Doesn't an actress do that?
Yes, but when you
So
have...
tell me why you feel that, knowing that an actress pretends to be what they're not.
But that's different than trying to live up to an image when you're not in front of a camera. That's different than wanting other people's approval all the time and caring so much about what people think of you.
Now that makes good sense. Okay. What were your most satisfying accomplishments in that life, Marilyn?
I'd like to say I had a baby, but he was taken away.
Oh my. Oh my. How old was the baby when it was taken away?
Just a few days old.
How did that make you feel when the baby was taken?
Well, I screamed and I cried and I didn't understand, and I felt that they had no right to take the baby away. But I suppose I didn't really have, the ability to raise a baby.
How old were you at that time?
About 15, I think I was 15.
Oh.
15?
Okay. So what are your thinking back over that lifetime, the entire lifetime, what were your most bitter disappointments?
Well, I think with my last divorce, I had to realize that maybe I'm not so good at relationships. That's a pretty bad one.
Well, would be, absolutely. Now, who are the major, look back over that lifetime, and the people who were in your life, who are the major characters in that lifetime that you feel have come with you into your present lifetime?
Who I feel have come with me?
That have come with you into your current lifetime?
Well, I don't know that anybody's come with me, but I know I've seen Joe on television before. And I've seen Arthur on television, and I've seen James on television, and I was married to all of them.
So then you feel that some people did some souls came with you into this lifetime.
Well, no, I saw them on television and felt a certain effect when I saw them on television.
Okay. Time is passing now. It's moving on. And now, for your good and your gaining, the count of 3, and not before the count of 3, without physical pain, distress, or fear, you're going to move forward to the very last day of your life. In this past life you're now examining, you will not have died. You will not have crossed over into the spirit yet. But on the count of 3, it will indeed be the last day of your life in that past life. Counting now. 1, 2, 3. You'll remember everything that happened, but you'll feel no physical pain. You realize that you're physically here and now. This is simply an exercise in remembering. No need for you to experience physical pain. It's now the moment of your death. Describe what's happening. Who's around? Is anybody around you at the moment of your death? It's okay. This is simply an exercise in remembering. Is there anybody around you at the time of your death?
Oh, I know there's men in the room.
There's somebody else in the room?
Right.
Okay. Are these people that you know?
I don't know everybody in the room.
How many people would you say are in the room?
3?
There's three other people besides yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Are they somehow related to the death that you experienced? Are they the cause of the death, or they just happen to be there at the time you're passing?
No, I know the pillow was on my face and I couldn't breathe.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who the other man is.
You do?
Well,
Do you know
I don't know who all of them are.
Okay. But do you know at least one of them?
Well, I know Bobby.
Bobby? Okay. I'm
And
not going to ask you who Bobby was, but you know who Bobby was, and you're going to keep that. So is Bobby the only one that is Bobby holding the pillow? Is he one of the ones holding the pillow on you?
No, Edward.
Who was?
Edward.
Edward was holding the pillow.
Bobby's brother.
Yeah. Okay. Now, on the count of 3, and not before the count of 3, you're going to pass through the experience of your death, cross over into the spirit. You'll have just left your physical body, and you'll find yourself in spirit on the other side. It'll be just a few moments after you've left your physical body in this past life incarnation. You're now examining. Counting now. 1, 2, 3. See your spirit rising from its physical shell. You've now just physically died. And as you move out of your body, you'll continue to be aware of me, the instructions I give you, and the questions I'll be asking you. Because you're now in touch with your inner true self. Feel your mind expanding into the highest levels of your being. Looking down at your body, you might perceive some sadness at this moment, but you know your spirit has been through this experience many times before. And you're now ready to return home to the spirit world. Your life between lives. Floating away now, leaving all physical and emotional pain, discomfort, comfort behind. You're now fully in a soul state, directly connected to the highest consciousness of your mind, which is like a vast computer holding all the stored knowledge of your entire existences. As an eternal, timeless being, you will remember incredible details about your immortal life between lives. And in that way, you will be able to access memories in response to my questions about your life as a soul quite easily. We're going to a place of expanded awareness as you move upward into the loving realm of all-knowing spiritual power. And even though you're only at the gateway to this beautiful realm, your soul feels the joy of being released. There's an exquisite feeling of joyful freedom. Everything will become very familiar to you as we progress further, because this peaceful realm embodies an all-knowing acceptance, entering your eternal home where your character is more permanent. And although you're still who you are, you can recall your immortal identity and all the lives you've lived before with objectivity and understanding, because this is a spiritual realm of planning, harmony. As you find yourself moving higher and higher, further away from Earth, away from the place where you passed over. Notice if the space around you gets lighter or darker. Does it get lighter or darker as you move upwards, as your soul moves upwards? You can answer me.
I don't know. It's just blue-gray.
It's gray, okay. As you move higher up, does it remain gray or does it change color? Become darker or lighter?
Somewhat golden.
Golden. Now, you know, you've been this way before, many times. Nothing new to you, to your soul, the mortal soul. So just keep moving and accept the fact that a loving power is taking you to a safe place. Now, be aware of what you see in the distance, beyond your immediate surroundings. And as you continue to move on, you see a large globe of light, and it's either near you or it's off in the distance. As the light moves close to you, though you move closer to the light, you realize that this is your spirit guide. Be aware of the shape and appearance of this life. And as you engage the light, it seems to be taking you by the hand. And the light now coalesces into a human form. Do you have any thoughts about this entity that has come to meet you? Do you recognize them in any way?
It's the person I was before my last past life.
Really? Is this being in front of you a male or a female?
A female.
Can you see any facial features?
Blonde.
Yeah. So this being, this entity, looks like you looked in your life, in a lifetime prior to this life, to the life as Marilyn. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Are you receiving any communication from this spirit guide being, either with words, visual pictures, placed in your mind telepathically? Are they communicating with you?
I just keep picturing wearing the red dress that I wore in the opera.
Oh, okay. What's the name of your spirit guide?
I don't know. Isa something. Isa. Like Isaborg? I don't know.
It'll come to you later, one that needs to come to you. Now, what is that spirit guide telling you?
that she was really unhappy even when she had a lot going for her because she
Okay.
focused on the wrong things.
Okay. But how does your spirit guide feel about your performance in your last life?
Well, that I was lucky to have some of the things I had, even though I thought I was pretty unhappy and tortured a lot of the time.
But now from the perspective of your immortal soul, you realize that there was the good and there was the bad, wasn't there?
Yes, but before it always seemed like the bad overshadowed the good.
Hmm. Well, you're now being taken by your spirit guide to an orientation place. Now, this place of orientation may be designed around some sort of comfortable and familiar earth setting. Maybe it's a garden where you're sitting on a white marble bench, or maybe it's a familiar room of some sort with a table and chairs. It could be an area of open ground or an airy space composed of clouds, or even something or someplace totally different from what I'm describing to you. Whatever and wherever it is, you're there now. Now describe your surroundings and this orientation place.
It's like a schoolroom from the 30s or 40s
Okay.
with little wooden desks and a chalkboard.
Chalkboard. While you're talking to your guide, do you review what goals you established in advance of this life as Marilyn? She did have goals.
Well, I think my guide wants me to know that she killed herself in the rain. And that's pretty awful. And
Well, remember, this is about your life. This is about Marilyn's life, not about your guide's life. Okay? So relative to these goals, what was your greatest achievement in your past life as that person called Marilyn?
well, a lot of people would think it was becoming Marilyn Monroe, but I suppose being, I don't know, a decent person is more important.
Hmm. Okay. What was your greatest disappointment in that life?
Well, my greatest disappointment in myself was when I ran from the barn when the little boy got hurt, because I was a coward.
Okay. How would you compare your last few lives with all those you lived before in terms of your continuing development as a soul?
Well, I don't try to do things that are wrong. It's just that I was scared.
Are you aware of someone who helped you before, during, and after these lives?
Well, I think there was an old man.
An old man. Okay. Now, I want you to call that old man forward. Does that old man offer any opinions about your overall advancement during this orientation? What does he have to say to you about how your soul is advancing through all the many lifetimes?
Just to be real and not fake. And I suppose that knowing my own self-worth is the most important thing, more than fame.
So that's very good advice. Now, is there anything else any other matters of importance that are transpiring at this conference, this orientation?
I just keep hearing, you don't need to do that again.
Okay. Okay, you're now moving on to rejoin your soul group. Now, those who have come with you, this is those who have come with you into all your many lives, various lives. And this place of reunion may be an open space, might be a garden, or a classroom, or a temple, or a meeting hall, or a library, whatever it is. Know and realize that it is the appropriate place for you to be in your journey home. What do you see your soul group doing? What are they doing?
I feel like I'm at a picnic, and there's a really pretty lady there.
Oh. Does that lady look familiar to you? Does it seem like you might have known her in a past, previous life?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
She just seems very kind and very pretty.
Oh. Now, of all the souls that you see in that picnic, who's in your life today? The life that you're living right now.
I don't know.
Is your primary soulmate among that group?
I don't know. I only really see the really pretty lady.
Pretty lady, I just say. What thoughts are you receiving from your group?
I just don't want to be dead.
Okay. Is there someone around there directing your group?
Everybody's just in shadows except for the pretty lady.
All right. It's now time to move to a place where you have the honor, the distinct honor to appear before a council of wise beings, elders, who are waiting to help you. Now be aware of your travel route and what you see and do along the way. Take a few moments to do this until you hear my voice again. Okay, you're now entering the council chamber. You can feel love and understanding emanating from the members of this council. How many beings do you see waiting for you?
Like 4 men in raincoats.
Okay. Any women? Or they all men?
No, they're all dark, like shadows, but they have hats and raincoats, and they're all men.
All right. Is your spirit guide in the chamber with you?
I don't feel like she's there, but I feel like I remember her.
Oh, okay. Where do you position yourself in relation to the council? Are you right in front of them? Are they seated?
They're standing in a group.
In a group? Are they raised and on a dais or a lectern, so to speak?
No, they're just standing there. Like
The same level? Same level as you?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're standing. Do you have the sense that one of the elders is serving as a chairperson or a moderator or directing of these proceedings? Somebody in charge?
I don't know. I feel like they're all sort of judging me.
What is the first thing you hear in your mind, and which elder addresses you first? Because there are four of them.
I don't see anybody or hear anybody speak, but I keep hearing in my head, "Go back, go back."
Okay, so that you're hearing them speak, but you're hearing it telepathically. They may not be vocalizing, but you're hearing it telepathically. What do the elders say about your progress that wasn't discussed with your guide in orientation or at any other time? What are they saying about your progress?
I don't know. I just keep hearing, "You don't have to be beautiful to be a real person."
That's important. What's your opinion about the elders' general attitude about the way you lived your last life? How do they feel about it?
Well, I think they recognized that I was pretty confused.
Okay.
So I think they forgive me somewhat, or somewhat lenient, perhaps more than I've been in my own mind at times.
Okay. Now, because all time is one in this loving realm, there really is no past, present, or future. And all your lives, past, present, and future, are known to your elders, your spirit guide, even to you. Do the council members make any comments about your current state of advancement as Michele compared to all your former lives?
I heard you never really lived because you're afraid of getting hurt.
Ah. In terms of evaluation, does anyone on the council offer constructive criticism or specific encouragement to you? And if they do, what do they say to you?
Be daring.
Be daring. Are the statements given to you by this council any different from the other council meetings you've attended after your other past lives?
I don't know. I think I'm supposed to focus on being smart.
On being what?
Smart.
Smart, okay. Now, one of the elders asked you if you have any questions for them. And indeed, you do have some questions. And the first question you're asking them is, during my lifetime as Charlotte Massey Hawthorne, what state, town, or city did I live in and die in? Now they're answering you. What do they say to you? What are they saying to you? You ask them in your lifetime as Charlotte Massey Hawthorne, where you live, the state, the town, the city. What are they telling you? Are they telling you anything?
Well, I keep hearing Andover, Maine, but I know I've read about that before.
Okay. Now, okay. You have another question. And your second question is, Am I meant to end up with my friend Tress in a romantic in-person love relationship during this current lifetime? And you ask them that question. And now they answer you. Someone answers you. What do they say to you?
It depends on what you want.
So what they're telling you is that you have a choice, aren't they?
I suppose.
I think they're telling you that nothing is written in stone. And you're the master of your own fate. Now they tell you that you can ask one more question. And that third question you ask is, how is it possible that so many people claim to have been Marilyn Monroe in a previous life? You're asking them that question. What do they say to you?
I'm hearing, if you don't want to be like her anymore, you've got to give her away.
Okay.
She belongs to the people.
But they're not answering your question directly, are they?
No.
Oh, man, there could be a reason for that. Could be a very important reason. Well, you thank your elders for their kindness they extended to you in answering your questions. And now let's move away from the council chamber and your meeting with the elders. Now, there are a couple of questions that I would like to ask you. Of all your past lives, which one was the most significant and productive?
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at things. But I suppose Mary Virginia's because I didn't worry about things so much. I didn't worry about what people thought of me so much.
Okay. I want to know, what is your most important characteristic as a soul that defines the real you that would be carried from life to life? What's the most important characteristic?
Well, that's sort of hard to say. I mean, I suppose I could say that I try to be kind, but I also try to persevere.
Perseverance. That's an important characteristic. Okay, let's move away from the serious of this and have a little fun with this. Let's take a look at some of your other activities in the spirit world. We're going to begin with recreational activities. Do you engage in activities like singing, dancing, maybe telling stories, playing games?
I don't know. I walk into a room and everybody's dressed the same way in red dresses.
Okay. Well, do you engage in periods of solitude for study and reflection?
I don't know, but I don't want to be like everybody else.
Are there times of assembly when souls gather to engage in activities like listening to lectures by teachers?
I don't know, but I don't want to be dead.
Okay. Do you engage in any activity in the spirit world with your friends where you evaluate each other's performance from previous lives?
I don't see friends, I just see other people trying to be like me.
Oh. Okay. It's now time to prepare to incarnate into your current life. How are you notified that it's time to reincarnate? Who tells you?
I don't know, but I suppose I don't want to be dead.
Now, would you describe your desire to come forward into this life as Michele, as a strong desire, moderate, slight, or resistant?
I have to go back and tell people what happened to me.
All right. So is that you have to go back and tell people what happened to you? So we call that strong desire to be reborn again?
Well, of course it is.
Okay. Have you ever said that you weren't ready? So you're ready for a new life. Did you feel that then that you were ready for a new life?
I don't know how ready I was, but I wanted to tell people what happened to me.
Yeah. You're now moving to a place where you'll be able to view your current body and make certain other life selections. I want you to think of this place as a life selection room. The screening room where you can see all that I'm going to ask you to see on large panels or screens that appear as transparent sheets of liquid energy. Now this is a special place where you can observe the scenes if you prefer, or you can actually participate in them by entering the scene of your choosing. At the count of 3, you'll be there. 1, 2, 3. You're there now. Now, did you come to this life selection place alone, or did you come with your guide?
I don't know.
You just found it?
I just know I don't want to be the same.
All right. You don't want to be the same as what? The same as Marilyn? Or the same what?
I don't want to look like everybody else. I don't want to be the same.
Okay.
I don't...
Are you aware of any higher beings working in this life selection room? Is anybody there working in that room?
I don't know.
Look around you. What are the surroundings like? What do you see in this life selection room?
I don't see anything. I just don't want bleached hair.
Okay.
And I don't want the way I look to be the most important thing about me.
Okay. Now there are many body choices that are being shown to you, that are available to you. So what are the details of these choices? Tell me what they look like. Or are like.
I don't know. I suppose I just want to be thin.
Okay. Is there a leading body candidate? Was that the body you chose?
I think I just wanted to come back fast.
Okay. So why did you reject you obviously had to choose a body to come back in. Why did you reject the others?
Well, I suppose I want to be a girl again.
Okay.
And I suppose I want to be curvaceous again, even if I don't look the same.
Okay. Now, when you see the body you chose in your current life, do you see it on a screen in live action?
No, I just feel like somebody promised me that it would be good enough for what I intend.
Now, what is your primary mission, your purpose in this, your current life? And has it changed from what you see now in the life selection room? Is it still the same?
Well, I'd like to be an actress again, and I want people to know how I really died.
Are the goals in this life, as Michele, different from the other lives? And if they are, in what way?
Well, I think I tried to be a good person.
Okay.
And I don't know. I took acting classes.
All right. Are you living, you feel that you're living your current life according to what you learned about it? Maybe that what you're viewing on the screen?
I feel like there's a lot of life to live, and that if you only have one or two goals, then you're kind of lost during the rest of your life.
Oh, okay. Now be aware of what you're doing just before you leave the spirit world to incarnate into your current life. Be aware of that. Now, what was your primary reason for coming this time around?
I wanted to tell people how I really died and be an actress again.
All right. You see, that's the... Okay. Would you characterize your attitude toward being reborn as full of anticipation about opportunity for a new incarnation? Was it one of indifference? Was it caution?
I think it's one of expectation. I thought it would be a lot easier to tell people how I really died.
Aha.
But I had to be a child first.
Yeah, exactly. Now, before we close and leave the spirit world, I want you to take a last look around. Be aware of anything we might have missed of significance. Take a few moments to do this. Is there anything that we might have missed was of significance in your time between lives?
I just feel very sorry that I never did certain things, and that things ended up the way they did. I feel very foolish.
All right. Now it's time to return to the here and now, to this time, this place, this lifetime. When I awaken you, the answers that flashed in your mind to my questions will be vivid in your memory. You will remember everything you have received and experienced during this session, and you will continue to gain more and more information about your life between lives as time passes. The answers and impressions that come to you will flood back into your memory. You'll be able to fill out the trip record that I supplied to you without difficulty, without any difficulty. As we begin now to leave the high realm of your soul mind, the beautiful existence of the spirit world between your lives on earth, I want you to remember that this loving world is always with you. Everything we've talked about today, all your thoughts, your memories, your insights, will be retained to help and empower you as you complete the remainder of your current life with renewed energy and purpose. Allow this all-knowing knowledge to settle calmly within your conscious mind in proper perspective. Allow yourself to now feel completely whole as the single person that is you. Your immortal self is completely joined with your human self as a single unit as we now return back. Higher and higher, back to your cloud, back into the time tunnel, back into the present. But before I awaken you, I want to give you a very powerful suggestion that will make you feel absolutely wonderful. Are you ready for it? Nod your head for me, please. Very well, here it is. Wisdom erases negative karma. Knowledge erases negative karma. Understanding erases negative karma. Awareness erases negative karma. But most of all, intention erases negative karma. I contend that you can accelerate or rise above your negative karma through your intention. But no one realizes and understands that wisdom also enhances positive karma. Knowledge enhances positive karma. Understanding enhances positive karma. Awareness enhances positive karma. Most of all, intention enhances positive karma. I submit to you that the knowledge, talents, skills, abilities, capabilities, and attitudes and aptitudes that characterize the past life you just experienced is there for you. It's there for the taking. It was always there. It was always yours. Now that you know this, it can be integrated into this, your present life. You have the power and the ability to awaken from this session as an entirely new person. Are you ready for that? Nod your head for me, please. Wonderful. You have the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the awareness, and the intention to let go of your negative karma. Remember, rediscover, and revive your positive karma. Reinvent yourself and begin to live the kind of life you want to live. Will live, deserve to live. Now listen carefully, Michele. Listen carefully. During the next 7 days, you will dream about the experiences you had in this session. And during the day, in odd moments of the day, bits, pieces of the experiences that you may have consciously forgotten or didn't even tell me about, return to your awareness. Your subconscious mind will work on absorbing and integrating these experiences into your conscious awareness. At the end of 7 days, you will have a deeper understanding of yourself. You will see how these experiences fit into the attitudes and feelings that you carry with you now. You'll be in touch with portions of yourself that might have been closed away from your awareness. You'll increase your ability to reach these parts of yourself. Your dreams will become more a part of your conscious awareness. As this experience today is integrated for you in your own individual search for your own individual truth. You will use constructively the material that came into your mind in response to my questions as you seek your destination. Now it's time to return to the here and now, to this time, this place, this lifetime. When I awaken you, the answer that flashed in your mind to my questions will be vivid in your memory. You will remember everything you have received and re-experienced during the session, and you will continue to gain more and more information about that past life as time passes. The knowledge will filter down from your subconscious to your conscious mind in the form of thoughts, the visual impressions. The answers and impressions that came to you will flood back into your memory. You will be able to fill out the trip record without difficulty. Now picture to yourself a ball of golden energy sparkling out in a far corner of space. Picture that energy rolling and flowing down through the darkness of space, penetrating the atmospheric envelope of Earth, coming down to this room, coming to rest at your feet. In a moment, I'm going to awaken you by counting from 1 up to 10. When I reach the count of 10, your eyes will open. You'll be wide awake, completely out of the hypnotic state, awakening with a marvelous feeling of well-being, feeling remarkably cheerful, fine, and wonderful in every conceivable way. Counting now. 1, the ball of golden energy enters through your toes, moves up your feet, your ankles, and your calves. 2, the ball of energy is moving through your knees and up your thighs. 3, the energy is moving up your hips. 4, the energy is moving into your waist, up your torso. 5. The ball of energy leaps into the fingers of both hands, travels up your hands, through your wrists, up into your elbows, and into your upper arms. 6. The energy is moving into your shoulders. 7. The energy is moving into your neck and up into your jaw muscles. 8. The energy is moving through your face, around the back of your head, and up into the crown of your head. 9. Your body is alive with vibrant energy, and you're exceptionally clear-headed. And 10. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and wonderful. Well, that was certainly interesting. Has there been anything that you expected from you?
No, it was interesting. At one point, it was like everything just became like a blur, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, somebody's talking," but I knew I wasn't asleep. It was just like your voice was so relaxing, you know?
Yeah, that Marilyn entity, she was very focused. It's like she wasn't even happy in the between life state. She was just determined to get back and tell people what happened.
And I have felt that myself. I mean, quite frankly, I remember a point. I mean, I write about as much as I do remember in my book, but I remember Bobby and Edward and the man with the briefcase. And I didn't know the man with the briefcase, and literally Bobby was here, Edward was there, and the man with the briefcase was there, you know, at the foot of the bed. And I had actually taken pills that night and intended to kill myself later, but fell asleep instead, and then woke up to them coming in the door. But and so it was kind of a two-part thing. Part of it was being smothered, but the other thing was when I went back into my body, the man with the briefcase had some machine and some tubes and some things he put in me. But it was weird before we even got to the dying part. When you were talking, all of a sudden in my mind I was thinking, I can't breathe, and I realized it was like that memory of having the pillow put over my face. But it was interesting because I didn't go very deep. It was almost like at one point you were asking me what I saw, and I felt like my consciousness was at the edge of the bed and the stranger guy was right there, but it was like, I'm too afraid to see him. I'm too afraid. It bugs me that I'm too afraid to see him, and hopefully, you know.
So you on the outside looking in?
Well, I still felt like I was on the inside, but it was like I couldn't look up and fully see him. Like some part of me, it makes it too real. And it's still clearly, as much as I, Michelle, try to be brave, it still clearly is too traumatizing because some part of me does not really want to see it, even though I want to see it. And I remember certain things that happened pretty clearly. I mean, I remember a couple of things that, you know, were said that night, and watching certain things happen. But I don't know how to explain it. It's so real. It's almost like if I go back there, I'll be reabsorbed back into there and I won't ever want to leave, because that still feels like me. That energy, even though her energy was a different variation of mine, still feels like it's home when I start to have certain memories. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Well, what is interesting? I'm going to say this and take this the wrong way. Well, the question: how is am I meant to end up with my friend Tress? Well, forget that. I think what the council was trying to tell you is that you're in charge of your own life. There's no meant to be.
Yeah,
you choose to be.
Yeah.
While we make contracts in between our lives, these contracts have an escape clause. And it's not written in stone. You can make your life. It gives us general tendencies. Okay, it's some generalities, but nothing is predetermined.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I was saying to my friend the other day, I said, okay, so my friend Tress has constantly told me about a lifetime which I barely remember. And he has said, we're meant to be together, blah, blah, blah. We were married. We were so happy together. You died young. We should have had more time together. And so he makes it feel like because we were together and happy during that lifetime, we're meant to be. But then I have to say to myself, yes, but you don't know who maybe my current boyfriend of 18 years was. Maybe he was someone I also, am meant to be with based on a past life together. So does what you're meant to be cancel out his meant? You know what I mean? Like, I'm still in this current lifetime. And it's confusing when people throw around you're meant to be things, because it sounds very romantic and predestined and godlike and fantasy-like, but,
Well, just remember, he may feel it's meant to be, but what is what Michele chooses it to be.
Oh, God, I wish I could be more than one person. I mean, at a time. At a time.
Well, that was very interesting, and the things that came now. What do you? Oh, well, also, by the way, they didn't want to tell you how it's possible that so many people claim to have been Marilyn Monroe in a previous life. You couldn't get that answer, could you?
No, but it's kind of weird, but like the feeling was, if you're going to reject the image, if you don't want it, and I've talked to my one friend about this a lot, if you don't want it, then I'm going to scatter to the world because she belongs to the world. But, I've told my one friend that I had such a love-hate relationship with the image. Like, I knew it gave me a career. I knew in some ways it gave me a purpose, and it saved me, and it got me attention, and I confused admiration with love. But at the same time, there was like this hate of it because, believe it or not, Marilyn had this image. She knew what people wanted to hear her say. So some of the cute things and some of the whatever sexy things or whatever were also playing to an audience. I may or may not have fully believed everything I said, but I had this image, right? And so actually, I remember at the time I was dying feeling like a very big fool. I mean, I felt completely humiliated, embarrassed, and foolish that things got to the point they did with Bobby, and then to be murdered in front of someone who's your lover is embarrassing. And things were a mess after the guy with the briefcase did his things. And so I think there was like this real rejection of, well, kind of like, well, if I hadn't bought into the image, if I hadn't tried to be so important, if I hadn't focused only on looks and focused on fame, confusing admiration for love, then this wouldn't have happened. And so it's almost like, I literally remember feeling like this, I reject, everything I've been trying to be. Yes, but it's your identity. I reject everything I'm trying to be. Yes, but it's your identity. Like this kind of push-pull kind of thing. Now, the very pretty woman who I kept seeing like around a picnic table had brown hair, and she was wearing like an old-fashioned red dress, and she didn't look anything like Marilyn, which is very interesting because it did not come up here, but I do remember, and I think I told you before, in the intermediary life, I do remember facing somebody else who looked like me but was more deadpan, and when I talked to them they said the same thing back, and we had a conversation. I can't even tell you what the conversation was, but it felt like they were sucking the emotion out of me when they were talking to me, almost like a robot me talking to me and sucking the emotion.
That's how you describe your spirit guide, as being another version of you. You know that? You don't remember that?
I did. I don't. Well, that was something different, though. She was, I was surprising me. She was the person I was before I was Marilyn, and I still don't know what her name was. It was something like Isaborga. I feel like I was in a different country. I've remembered this for years. I had a hyphenated last name. The second part of the last name was Moore, Moore. The first part was something really fancy like Shalenka or so. I don't know what it was. It was something fancy. And I know my mom was an opera singer, and I know my dad killed my mom. I mean, I know a lot of things from that lifetime. But I had a naturally great operatic voice, but there were a lot of other things going wrong in my life. And I got a really big part in an opera, and I was like, I don't know, 19, 20, 21, something like that. I thought, oh, this is going to be my big, great breakthrough. I'm going to have this great performance because I have a big part. They brought in this really handsome man who was an opera singer, who was like a celebrity, who a lot of people knew in a lot of cities. He was going to be the lead. And he showed up drunk and tripped on stage as soon as he was making his entrance, and he wasn't singing his usual good self. And we all got panned. The whole production got panned the next day. And I was heartbroken, but I had other problems too. You know, like my father had killed my mother and got away with it, and he always ignored me. I think I reminded him of my mother. And I was involved with a married doctor who I knew was from another town and had a wife and a son. And so there were just a lot of things that happened. And I literally took a knife, went to, I don't know if it was a soccer field or what kind of ball field, on a rainy night and stabbed myself. I killed myself. And I remember it took so much longer to die than I thought. It wasn't like Romeo and Juliet. It wasn't like, it wasn't like that. I mean, I remember heaving, being down on the ground, heaving. I was in some like kind of tunnelish type place that was, you know, right off of the ball field. I don't know if it was where the players and the cheerleaders walked through. I don't know what it was, but I mean, even though it was pouring rain, I wasn't getting rained on. I don't believe I was getting rained on, but I remember heaving, and it took a lot longer to die than I thought. It was a lot more painful than I thought. And I have always felt that maybe part of the reason Marilyn's life was so difficult and she had to fight for her fame was because I threw so much away, because I killed myself, just, you know.
Yeah, that other life.
But
yeah.
I did not expect to see her show up.
That.
And I literally like saw her like this, almost like she was floating, and like the red sleeve of her red dress from that opera was reaching out to me. And she had blonde hair and blue eyes, but she did not look like Marilyn. She was a different blue-eyed, blonde type looking person.
Yeah. Some people will do that, yeah. What worked against you just a little bit is that you're left brain oriented, which is logical, rational, and analytical.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works against you. But you're right on the cusp, you know. But you do tend towards left brain analyticalness.
Oh, I mean, I used to read self-help books all the time, in like from my 20s to age 40 or so, and analyze behavior and this and that, and I know it was all for the point.
Well, you know, that can work against you, and those people don't necessarily experience the subjective feelings that a right brain person will. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful in all this, but they're going to be successful in a different way.
Well, I have to say there was one point, I don't know if my boyfriend came home or what, but there was one point I swear I heard something outside the door there too, and I was like, oh God.
Maybe the cats got loose. Hey, look, you better go ahead and work on that, and it was fun. I enjoyed this. I hope you did too.
Well, you know, like I said before, I feel that maybe for me the thing is more comes afterwards. Yeah, you know, maybe exactly. That's just the way I am, because all the memories I had when I was in college came to me, or most of them, almost all of them, I should say, not all of them, but most of them came when my eyes were wide open and I was walking to and from classes and doing things, and it wasn't when I was still, it wasn't when I was trying for it, it wasn't when my eyes were closed, it was all when I was literally going around my life and not trying to make something happen.
So let me know what else transpires.
Oh, I will for sure. Yeah. Because I'm still really hopeful. And you know, and I've had somebody say to me, well, maybe it's just a waste of your money to ever go back for hypnosis ever again, because maybe you're one of those people that just can't be hypnotized. But I feel more like filled with hope. I feel like more like, you know, if you keep trying, something's going to work. You know, I'm not going to give up.
Okay, good. That's good. I'm thinking maybe you should consider further exploring Marilyn's life in a karmic connection session. In other words, where you go more in depth. You don't do anything between lines. But and you can read about that on my website. It explains what a karmic connection session is.
Well, the way I look at it, I probably need to get through Christmas because that's expensive as can be.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
it's going to be more expensive this Christmas than it was last because of those problems with the supplies coming in.
Oh, well, the way I look at it, you just give most people money and they can buy what they want when they can. but I mean, I figure, I want to try your different types of regressions. And I also, like I said, I want to see what comes up because who knows what could come up. I might suddenly remember some completely different past life that I never thought and be saying, Bruce, I need you to help me with this one, you know.
Yeah. Okay, look, go ahead. I've got another one coming up pretty soon.
All right.
Go ahead, print that out, fill it out, and let me know what happens.
All right, I will. For sure. You know I'll pester you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.